It was the call light that started it. Not a scream, not a shadow, not a door slamming shut. Just a soft chime from the nurse's station at 3:03 a.m. It was the kind of polite sound a hospital uses so suffering can be processed efficiently. I was a floating CNA back then, desperate for hours and willing to work anywhere as long as it paid. On this particular rotation, they placed me on the pediatric unit of a hospital that was half modern and half leftover. The old part of the hospital was where the children's floor used to be before they consolidated wards. They told me the unit had been moved years ago. They didn't tell me the old floor still had power. The elevator wouldn't take you there, not officially, but there was a service stairwell behind a locked door in the supply area. You could get up there with a badge if you had the right clearance, or if someone lets you. My first night, the charge nurse, Darla, handed me a clipboard and said, "Don't go upstairs." I blinked. Upstairs? Darla didn't look at me. She was counting meds. "If you hear a call light from upstairs, ignore it." I gave a little laugh. Why would I hear a call light from a floor that's closed? That made her look up. Her eyes had that tired hardness people get when they've seen too much and learned to function anyway. "Because," she said, "it still rings." I wanted to ask questions, but something in her face told me I wouldn't like the answers, so I nodded and went to work. Hospitals at night are mostly routines, repositioning, refilling ice water, charting quietly, and catching the occasional wave of panic from a parent sleeping in a chair beside their child. The air is always too dry, and the lights are always too bright for the hour. I was restocking linen when the nurse's station chimed. Darla didn't even flinch. The call light indicator blinked on the wall panel. Room 4B. Except our unit didn't have a 4B. We were on 2. I leaned toward the panel. "That's wrong, right?" Darla's hand paused mid-chart. She didn't turn her head. She just said, "Ignore it." The chime came again, a little more insistent. Then the panel blinked like it was struggling to keep the information displayed. The room number changed. 4B became 4B-PED. A coldness crept up my arms. I laughed again because I didn't know what else to do. "Okay, so glitch?" Darla finally faced me. Her voice dropped. "We don't say the word glitch about that floor." I stared at her. "Why?" Darla looked past me, down the hallway where the pediatric rooms were lined with cartoon decals and soft-colored murals. "Because it makes it worse," she whispered. The call light chimed a third time, and this time on the panel, a message appeared beneath the room number. "Please." Just that, in all caps, like someone had pressed the call button and held it until the system translated it into desperation. My stomach turned. I told myself it was someone messing with the software, old wiring cross-feeding into the new system, or some kind of electrical echo. But then the overhead speaker crackled, just slightly, and a voice came through. A child's voice, thin, careful, as if they were trying not to cry. "Hello?" Every hair on my body lifted. Darla's face went pale in a way I hadn't noticed before, like her skin knew a memory her mind wanted to forget. The child's voice continued, soft and small. "Is anyone there?" My mouth opened, and Darla snapped, "Don't answer." I couldn't help it. Something in me, a caregiver instinct or maybe just basic human decency, reacted to that voice the way it would react to any scared kid. I stepped toward the station speaker. "Hi, sweetie. Who is this?" Darla grabbed my arm so hard her nails dug in. The speaker went quiet. Then the voice returned, closer, as if the child had moved nearer to the intercom on their end. "I can't find my mom," the voice said. The words weren't panicked, they were resigned, like the child had asked this question 1,000 times and was now just trying again because what else could they do? My throat tightened. "What's your name?" Darla yanked me back. "Stop." The panel flickered, the room number dissolved into static. Then it stabilized again. 4B-PED. Message: "Don't leave me." My hands shook. "Darla, that's not... someone is..." "No," she said. "No one is up there. Not living." Those words hit me like a slap. Not living. The speaker crackled again. This time, the child's voice sounded different, less human, still childlike, but stretched, like it was coming through a bad recording. "Will you come upstairs?" it asked. And behind the words, under the voice, there was a sound, a soft rhythmic squeak, like a gurney wheel turning. My mind filled in images I didn't want: empty hallways, dust-coated toy boxes, abandoned cribs, and IV poles standing like skeletons. Darla's eyes met mine. "I told you." The call light chimed again, and again, and again, faster now. The panel blinked like it was being hammered. "Please," the voice said. "Please, please." In the hallway, one of the pediatric room doors creaked open, just a crack. No one had touched it. No breeze existed in that sealed corridor. The crack widened, and inside the room, the nightlight flickered. I swallowed. "We should check on that patient." Darla's grip tightened. "There is no patient in that room." I stared at her. "What?" She looked away, voice tight. "We don't use it anymore." The speaker softened, almost sweet. "Come upstairs," it said again. "I'll show you." I did something I still hate myself for. I believed it. Not because I thought it was a real child, but because I thought maybe, if there was any chance a child was suffering, I couldn't ignore it. And because something in that voice was designed to pull you forward, like a hook behind your ribs. I pulled my arm free from Darla and walked toward the supply area. The service stair door was there, half hidden behind a linen cart. My badge didn't work on the scanner. I tried again. Red light. Then, with a quiet click, the door unlocked anyway. My blood turned cold. Because I hadn't done anything different. The building had decided to let me in. The stairwell smelled like damp concrete and old bleach. The overhead lights were dim and buzzing. Each step echoed not just behind me, but above me, like the sound was being returned by something waiting. I climbed. 2nd floor, 3rd. At the landing between 3 and 4, the air changed. It became strangely warmer and carried a faint scent of baby powder and plastic toys left in sunlight too long. I reached the 4th floor door. A sign was bolted to it. Closed unit, do not enter. But the metal was scratched deeply, like someone had clawed at it with something sharp and desperate. The handle turned easily. The door opened. The 4th floor was darker than it should have been. Emergency lights glowed weakly along the baseboards, painting the hallway in a sickly orange. The walls still had faded murals, cartoon animals peeling like dead skin. And the call light chime, it was louder up here, not from a speaker, but from the air itself. I moved toward room 4B. The number plate hung crooked, as if it had been yanked. The door was closed. I reached for the handle, and I heard a small sound behind me, a soft giggle. I froze and slowly turned. The hallway behind me was empty, but the emergency lights along the floor began to blink off, one by one,
starting at the far end and moving toward me, like something was walking through them, swallowing light as it came. I stepped back to the door of 4B and pushed it open. Inside the room, moonlight filtered through blinds, and dust floated like snow. The beds were gone, but the outlines of where furniture once sat were stained into the floor. In the corner, a single rocking chair remained, facing the wall. The chair moved slightly, not rocking, just shifting, like someone had just gotten up. On the wall near the call button, there were scribbles in crayon, not drawings, words, repeated over and over in messy child handwriting. Where is my mom? Where is my mom? Where is my mom?
My breath caught. I stepped closer. The call button itself was intact. A tiny red light glowed beneath it. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. I reached out, and before my fingers touched it, the intercom speaker in the room crackled. The child's voice came through, right above my head. "So you came." I spun, searching for a source. The voice didn't come from a single speaker. It came from everywhere. And the rocking chair behind me creaked. Not an old wood creak, but a weight shift creak. The voice turned whispery and intimate. "You're not my mom," it said. My mouth went dry. "Where are you?" A pause. Then, "Behind you." I didn't turn. I couldn't, because I felt it. Something close enough that the air on the back of my neck cooled, like a breath with no lungs. The call button light brightened, and in the reflection of the call button's plastic cover, I saw a shape behind me, small and child-sized, but its head was too high, like it stood on tiptoe, and its eyes were huge, dark, and unblinking. I forced myself to move, to step away. My heel hit something on the floor, a plastic toy, or a little hospital bracelet. I looked down. The bracelet had a name printed on it, faded but readable. Elliot. And the date. The date was from years ago, a date that corresponded with the fire everyone pretended was ancient history. The voice whispered again, less childlike now, as if something older was using the child's tone like a mask. "You answered," it said. "That means you can stay." The door behind me swung shut. The handle turned on its own, locked. The emergency lights in the hall went out. Darkness swallowed the crack beneath the door. I slammed my shoulder into it. "Open! Open!" The voice giggled, but it didn't sound happy. It sounded hungry. Then the call button began to ring. Not chime, ring, like an old-fashioned phone. Louder and louder until my skull vibrated. I covered my ears. The room grew colder, fast. The rocking chair started to rock, at first gently, then faster and faster, as if someone invisible was rocking it with force. I screamed for help. No response. My radio, still on my shoulder, crackled, and Darla's voice came through, strained and shaking. "I told you not to go." "Help me," I cried. "Listen," she said, voice trembling. "Do not let it make you turn around." "What?" "It wants you to look at it. It's not a child anymore. It's what watched the children when no one else did." I swallowed, tears burning. "How do I get out?" Darla's voice broke. "You don't. Not unless you lie." The rocking chair rocked faster. I could feel the presence behind me shifting, moving closer. The air smelled like smoke now, like a fire that wasn't here but still remembered how to burn.
Lie? I whispered into the radio. Darla swallowed audibly. Tell it your name and tell it you're staying. Tell it you'll sit with it. My stomach clenched. That's insane. It's either that or it keeps you. The voice behind me went quiet, as if it was listening for my decision. My heart pounded so hard I felt it in my teeth. I forced words out. My name is... I choked, then tried again. My name is... I said my name. I'm staying, I whispered. I'll sit with you. The air behind me softened. The pressure eased slightly, like a hand loosening from my throat. The rocking chair slowed. Then the voice murmured, content. Okay. The door clicked, unlocked. I ripped it open and ran. I ran down the hall, down the stairs, nearly falling, lungs burning, heart hammering like it wanted out of my chest. When I burst back into the main floor, Darla was there waiting at the stair door, face soaked with tears she refused to acknowledge. She grabbed my shoulders. Did you look? I shook my head, trembling. Good, she whispered, because if you seen it, you'd never stop seeing it. I quit that job that same night. I moved on to another hospital, another shift, another life. But every once in a while, when I'm in a quiet building and I hear a faint chime, just once, my body locks up before my mind can process it. And I swear I hear, far away, through a speaker that shouldn't be connected anymore, a child's voice, soft and patient. Hello? And underneath it, something older breathing through the line, waiting for someone to answer.